Every time you start your car, small explosions begin going off inside the engine, over 100 times every second, and you don't feel a single one. That sounds like it should be terrifying, or at least loud and violent. It isn't, because a car engine has turned something explosive into something smooth and boring, entirely on purpose. So how do 100 explosions a second turn into a quiet cruise down the highway? Let's crack the engine open and watch. Strip a car down to its simplest job. Burn fuel, get motion. Gasoline packs a huge amount of energy into a tiny liquid, and igniting it releases that energy almost instantly. The hard part was never making it explode. Any match can do that. The hard part is catching that violence over and over, thousands of times a minute, and turning it into one smooth, spinning motion strong enough to push 2 tons of steel down a highway. That's the actual engineering problem hiding under your hood. Here's what most of us picture: gasoline exploding like a bomb, hurling the piston down in one wild blast. That picture is mostly wrong. A real, uncontrolled explosion inside an engine is called detonation. It actually damages the engine. Mechanics call it knock. What happens instead, when everything's working right, is a fast, controlled burn. The spark ignites a tightly packed mixture of fuel and air, and the flame spreads through it in a few thousandths of a second. Controlled, not chaotic. That difference is the whole reason engines survive. Each cylinder repeats the same 4-beat cycle, thousands of times a minute. First, intake. A valve opens and sucks in a mix of air and fuel. Second, compression. The piston rises and squeezes that mixture into a tight, energetic pocket. Third, combustion. The spark plug fires, the mixture burns fast, and the pressure slams the piston back down. Fourth, exhaust. A valve opens and the spent gas gets pushed out. Intake, compression, combustion, exhaust. Repeat forever as long as the engine runs. But a piston only knows how to do one thing: move in a straight line, down and back up. A car needs a wheel that spins round and round. That conversion is the real trick, and it happens on a single forged steel part called the crankshaft. Each piston connects to its slightly off-center, like a pedal on a bicycle crank. Every downward shove from combustion doesn't just push the piston, it shoves that offset point, and the whole shaft is forced to rotate. Straight line violence goes in. Smooth rotation comes out. One cylinder firing alone would jerk and stall. So engines stagger several cylinders, each hitting its power stroke at a different instant, so the shoves overlap into one continuous spin, smoothed further by a heavy flywheel. A camshaft times every valve, and a spark plug times every ignition, down to fractions of a millisecond. Press the accelerator, and you're not asking for a bigger explosion. You're asking for more explosions every second. That's what a higher RPM actually means. But push that timing too far, and the trap opens. If the fuel-air mixture ignites on its own, from heat and pressure, before the spark ever fires, you get real detonation. An uncontrolled shock wave slamming the piston at exactly the wrong moment. Engineers call it knock, and left unchecked it can crack a piston or punch a hole clean through one. That's why fuel is rated by octane. Higher octane fuel resists igniting early. That's the entire reason it exists, not because it makes an engine more powerful. So next time your engine turns over, picture what's actually happening under the hood. 100 tiny, tightly timed explosions every second, caught by a crankshaft and turned into one smooth spin, one careless millisecond away from destroying itself. It isn't brute force. It's controlled violence, timed to the fraction of a second. If that changes how you picture the box under your hood, that's exactly the point of this channel. Subscribe at Cutaway 360. We keep cutting things open.